We are just three good friends who attended high school together. And although college has divided our paths, we always pondered about the question, what does it mean to be Hmong American? In our culture, we call stories daneng. In a way, through our existence, we carry those stories. We also call dreams bao shuo. And it is through our existence that we become our ancestors' dream.
I think one struggle that I faced growing up Hmong American was trying to explain to others my ethnicity.
Now that would go back to going into history or
I could slightly tell people like maybe why we are here in the United States today, but it was hard to give them like a direct answer other than just being a ethnic minority group from Southeast Asia.
then it leads to explaining my ancestry. It's a hoot. It turns into a whole circle.
I think it's still a learning process, and I definitely want to, I guess, work on it too, so I can confidently tell people like what my ethnicity is, right? Or who the Hmong people are.
So growing up for me, I struggled a lot with my identity, as most people do. I think for me, I struggled a lot with my identity in terms of being too Hmong and being too white. So for my Hmong peers, I felt that I was too whitewashed, so I couldn't speak Hmong very well. I felt very isolated from my Hmong peers because of my lack of understanding in speaking Hmong. And then in addition to that, I felt that I was too Hmong to hang out with my Caucasian or non-Asian peers. And so growing up, I struggled a lot with where did I belong.
One resource I would say that contributed to my cultural identity would have to be the Asian American Studies program at UW-Madison. I think this program has given me the opportunity to take classes pertaining to my own ethnicity, and I've been able to, kind of explore my own cultural roots, right? For example, this semester I'm taking 2 Asian American Studies classes that are Hmong Studies focused, and through these classes I've been able to learn a lot about the history of my own people, right? And I'm still learning so much, and so being able to have this opportunity has been super empowering, but also helpful.
When I was younger, I always wanted to dance. I watched a lot of music videos and wanted to be the pretty girls who danced in the music videos. So through the grapevine, I heard my cousin was starting a dance group, and I danced with them for about 4 years. But through that alone, I experienced a lot, learned a lot, and saw the importance of keeping at least that tradition alive. I also had my high school Hmong club. All together, we all shared the same struggles, similar experiences, but ultimately feeling that pride within your identity, definitely rubbing from them onto me, was also a huge factor.
resources I had that contributed to my identity. I think first off, in high school, having a cultural student organization, more specifically Hmong Club, honestly helped me a lot to re-identify who I was. And so being a part of the Hmong Club at my high school allowed me to realize that there are others just like me, who grew up with English as their main language, who feels a huge disconnect from their culture. And I think it was the first time I was ever a part of a group of Hmong individuals that could empathize and also welcomed me openly and did not make me feel like I wasn't a part of the community. And so I think that later on opened my opportunity to join more student cultural organizations entering college. I would say mostly my college experience has been the main contribution to my identity today as an Asian American, more specifically Hmong American. Reason being, going to UW Milwaukee, there is a huge Hmong population, and I think that going to college at UW Milwaukee has allowed me to see different perspectives from different cultural backgrounds, but also get a sense of my own identity and being able to compare who I have decided I am, and seeing that there are many different definitions to what it means to be Hmong American. And so I think that a lot of the resources do come down to student organizations that are student-led, that are supported by Asian American advisors. And I think that my resources so far have been those of Asian American descent.
I think being Hmong American means being resilient. Many of us are heirs of the Secret War, meaning we inherit our parents' or grandparents' experiences of escaping the war as well as their traumas. Though our people have been displaced due to the Secret War, we are still here today standing strong, and we are fighting through each obstacle that comes our way. When our people first arrived here in the United States, they faced many things like language barrier or cultural shock. Yet, look how far we've come. We returned a place that was once foreign to us into a home. We were able to rebuild our community here in order to survive. However, we still have a long way until we can say that we are thriving in this country. We still have obstacles to face, generational knowledge to learn, and traumas that need to be healed. I think, though, that we will be able to overcome these by being resilient. And that is why I think that being Hmong American means being resilient.
Being Hmong American to me is more than just balancing your Hmong values and your American values. It's honestly, in my opinion, a combination of the two. So while I grew up in America, I was born here, I would say that a lot of my values are aligned with American values versus Hmong values. I'm still true to my roots of Hmong culture. I will always understand the traditions, the history, the cultural values that my family holds and I myself hold as well. And I think that ultimately being Hmong American to me means having a clear sense of who I am to myself, and I don't need to prove to anyone who I am. I don't need to prove to anyone that I am Hmong enough. Neither do I have to prove to anyone that I am American enough. Being Hmong American is more than just showing that you are fit for being Hmong or American. It's honestly a combination of both, understanding that you can be both, and it's really up to you and how you determine what your identity is, and there's no one that's telling you that you're neither Hmong or American enough. You are yourself.
Definitely knowing the history about America, but also knowing where my family's history plays within that, within the textbooks, and what the textbooks don't include. So being a living testimony of what history does not talk about is what being Hmong American means to me.